be on a Wednesday when I upload the video, but God knows I'm going on town soon. But anyway, I'm back with another Zoom interview with Sunshine Baby, and I'm so excited to be doing this. Thanks to the power of YouTube, I found them, and we're going to be talking a little bit about their story. So please turn on subtitles, because most of you can plain you can't understand me, and don't realize that I spend hours subtitling these. So please do that and subscribe if you're new. So welcome back to my channel. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so my name's Chris. This is my daughter Raelynn, and we have a channel called Sunshine Baby, and it's all about how Raelynn is a part of our family, and that's just a normal part of our family. And we do things that normal families do, but we also take care of her every day and the process there. So Raelynn has cerebral palsy, she's quadriplegic, she has seizures, and really I could go on a while talking about all of her diagnoses. But my goal for the channel is just to show people that no matter what struggles you go through, because Raelynn has a lot of struggles, a lot of things to overcome, no matter what it is that you go through, you can still have hope and joy no matter what you're going through.
Yeah, definitely, because that's kind of what I wanted this YouTube channel for those of you who are new here. I'm 21. I graduated in high school, had no idea what I was going to do. I don't need full-time help, but at the same time I do, because if I drop something or have to go to the bathroom, there's no telling if I'm going to be able to do that. And then people in my everyday life were like, there's no way you can live a normal life. And I was like, okay, where do you understand that? So I wanted this YouTube channel as a career and as a disability awareness channel. So, yeah. So my first question is, I know that Raelynn Murney recorded in foster care. Do you mind talking a little bit about that journey when it comes to deciding to foster a medically complex child?
Sure, yeah. So and this goes even before we had Raelynn into our home, but we wanted to be foster parents. We wanted to adopt eventually, probably as well. And that's just because of our worldview. We want to take care of kids. We want to watch those people who oftentimes have a hard start and need somebody to watch them. So we wanted to be involved in the foster care system. We wanted to adopt eventually as well. That's our heart. You know, we wanted to care for kids. So Raelynn specifically, it was a long process. The foster care system itself is a long process.
Right.
So we told them the kinds of kids that we were interested in possibly fostering, and those were we had little children of our own at the time, biological kids. So we were only really open to fostering either really small babies or children who had severe medical complexities, and that was because having little kids of our own, we had to consider their safety. We didn't want anybody who was a lot older than our kids who might abuse them in some way. So we were really only open to babies or medically complicated children. So we got a call eventually, and we had to say no to a lot of calls because they just didn't fit those criteria. But we got a call eventually, and it was Raelynn, and she was the first child that we fostered, and it just worked out perfectly. She came into our home. She was 17 months old at the time. All we really knew at the time when we first brought her into our home is that she had seizures. That's all we knew. So we met Raelynn, and she was nonverbal. She was a precious little doll, and we fell in love with her right away. So that's kind of the story how we brought her into our home, and we fostered her for about I mean, she was 17 months old, and we didn't adopt her till she was almost 6. So it was a long process of fostering her and then eventually adopting her.
Right. And so awesome. The kind of similar to my story, because I might have told you that I don't think so. I'm adopted from the Ukraine. My parents adopted me because they didn't know if they could have children and they wanted to add to their family. And they knew something was wrong with me, obviously, but over there in Russia, Ukraine, they don't really have the medical complex medical care to actually say, oh yeah, that's what's wrong with you, or, And so when they found out I was had cerebral palsy, it was a way of life for us.
Right.
The sad point is, I don't think a lot of people are out there looking necessarily for disabled individuals.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Do you think that Raelynn diagnosis community was impacted at all by foster care, and can you talk about her diagnosis journey?
Sure. Yeah. So I would say in some ways, being in foster care, being through the foster care system helped her to get the care and attention she needed because of her diagnosis. So Raelynn was born this way, and probably due to genetic testing that we've gotten over the years, it's probably a result, or at least related to her having a gene mutation. Specifically the NAV2 gene mutation. I don't know what that means exactly, but she has a gene called the NAV2 gene, and they've noticed that it's been mutated, probably when she was being developed in the womb. So they don't know for sure that that's what causes her to be the way that she is, but they have a high suspicion that that's at least part of it. Yeah. It's very rare. Even though it might be the cause of epilepsy, they don't know how it relates exactly. They've only have a few more people that they've even found that have this mutation. So there's no name for it besides that mutation, whatever it is. So that's her epilepsy, that's her cerebral palsy, that's her quadriplegic. Probably it all kind of comes down to that in some way. Now, in terms of how that relates to foster care, like because she went through the foster care system, the state that we live in, Illinois, basically pays for all of her health concerns, all of them.
Wow.
And even after we adopted her, they continue to do that because it's actually cheaper. It's actually less expensive for the state of Illinois to pay us to pay for all of her medical expenses than for her to continue to be in foster care. So whenever somebody is adopted out of the foster care system, our state, Illinois, will continue to pay for their healthcare system or healthcare. It might be the rest of her life. It's at least till she's 21. But I think it might even be the rest of her life. I'll have to look into that.
Wow. Yeah, that's amazing. It's amazing to me how something not just adopted in foster care, but most things you almost have to be disabled to get the attention that you deserve. It's weird that I've been in those situations too, where I'm like, if I wasn't disabled, this would take a hell of a lot longer than it would if I was able body. I can't see the scenario off the top of my head, but I know they'll happen.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I know on your channel you talk about how all women medicine needs are very important, like for your family and many others, including my own, and that we couldn't have living life with because of our complex needs. However, there are many people who sadly believe that people who have complicated needs could or can't be living a here equality life. Like, in your opinion, why is it important to make everyone here equality life? And what would you say to others who believe differently?
Yeah, so I'm a Christian, so I believe that quality of life is more than just what we can do. God's given us life itself. So to disregard that, or to, not see that as a huge gift, just the fact that we're alive at all, I think would be disrespecting what God's given us. I think the fact that we are alive at all, that has value.
Yeah.
And the fact that Raelynn allows us to enjoy her what limited things that she can do, I mean, that has value. And it's a beautiful, life itself is beautiful. Life itself is beautiful. And the fact that we can care for her, I think shows that it in a way shows that how much God cares for us. Like, in a way, we're very, very limited in what we can do. Like, even me as an able-bodied, healthy person, I still need to rely on other people as well. So I've heard people say, like, that argument of, well, she doesn't have quality of life. Well, to me, I would say, show me one person who doesn't rely on anybody else.
Right.
And to me, that either that person's going to be a very lonely, depressed, sad person, or they don't understand that we all lean on each other. Like, we all need to be a part of each other's lives, and that's a beautiful thing. So the fact that Raelynn needs more care doesn't mean that her life has less value. It just points out that we're all interrelated, and we all need to be caring for each other, and that's a good thing that we can celebrate, rather than be think that we're hindered by that at all.
Right. And it kind of the same thing people tell me, like, I go hiking a lot. If you follow me, well, I know you follow me on YouTube, so you know I'm in a walker, but I work out a lot, and I'm really athletic. I also ride horses, and I was at a park the other day with my mom, who is a stay-at-home mom, who helped me know about whatever I planned for myself that day. And some random dude hung up to me and, oh, thank you for letting her out of the house. And I turned around and I was like, really trying not to let any other person, because it really reflects on them as a human being. I'm like, why would you say that to any person in public? I mean, what are you taking me for? Or people go, oh, it's amazing that you can walk around a park. I'm like, is it though? I'm walking in a walker, I have my physical capability is a little bit harder.
Right. Yeah. And I've gotten to the point, like, especially with YouTube comments and things, I don't get offended by anybody anymore.
Right.
Like,
right.
even when people seem to want to offend me, I just respond with love, because they're in a different place. They don't understand our lifestyle. So what they really need is, one, just I'm glad that through our channels we can inform people of our lifestyles, but two, just arguing with people isn't going to help, is it? Like, I just seek to love them and just show by example that her life has value and that she can be integrated in our lives and things like that. Yeah.
And when I'm out, I go out with a lot of I'm 21, and I go out with a lot of my friends know what I need, and I'm capable of telling them if there's something that they don't know. And people come up to us, oh, are you her nurse? And I'm like, no. And at that point, I end up talking to them about disability awareness in general.
Right. Yeah.
Yes. Let's see. What is the biggest challenge you see Raelynn parents?
I think it changes from time to time. Right now, we're really focused on making sure she's comfortable in terms of the pain she's been in. But I think like beyond that kind of thing, I would say right now, especially, we're really focused on getting an eye gaze device for her so that she,
wonderful.
so she can communicate more with us, and we'd be able to tell more when she wants to do certain things, or which things she wants to do. If she wants to choose between different activities and things, that would be revolutionary if we can get that.
Yeah, I have a friend of mine who has Rett syndrome, if you know what that is. And he has told me with a brand I made communication devices, and it's really quite amazing because I used to go over to her house and have to hold up 2 items and see what items he wanted, and that was really hard. Especially for someone like me at the back end who can't get up to actually see what I'm trying to see. And so when he got her, told me, I was like, oh, thank you. Thank you, because I don't like making decisions for people because regardless of your disability, I think you should be able to make whatever decision you're capable of making.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we would do the same thing with Raelynn. We'd have them have the 2 choices that she can choose between.
Right.
But yeah, it's definitely harder to do that kind of thing.
Right. Helen, what do you hope the world knows about Raymond and other like her?
I think, I mean, it's kind of a hard question. Honestly, in a way, I don't care that the world knows things about Raelynn. Just in general, like people like Raelynn as she grows up, I would say that don't treat them any different than you would treat anybody else.
Right.
It's interesting. We talked about this a little bit before, but the people oftentimes either want to make people heroes or make people villains.
Yeah.
So Raelynn is a normal person, a part of our normal lives, and yes, she inspires me because of her challenges that she overcomes. But that's also a testimony to everyone in a way. I mean,
Right.
anytime anyone overcomes any kind of challenge, that's inspiring. So she's not, I mean, she's special because she's my daughter, but she's, in a way, she's no more special or less special than anybody else, right? I'm grateful that we have a platform on YouTube to be able to share this message of joy and hope, and that Raelynn inspires people all over the world. But really, I hope that everyone would see just how special they are. And it's less about Raelynn and more about God's made all of us, and we can all rejoice in how much God has given everybody a unique voice and a unique specialness to them.
Right. I say that because I made a TikTok. I think I also posted it on YouTube. I made a list of things that people for me or say to me all the time, and the inspiration part. Okay, I'm fine with that if it's actually something a normal person would be considered inspirational for that time, but it blows my mind what people say to me, what people say in my YouTube comments. I mean, no, you are probably more about equal inspirational or helpful or whatever, like me.
Yeah, I saw that video. I thought it was good.
Yeah, people loved it. People started a debate in my Facebook comments. I was like, wow, people really are getting heated in the debate. And my mom said, what is your benefit in my new parent or hospital parent? I medically have child?
Yeah. So once again, that's a hard question in a way, because there are so many things that foster parents need to think of in general. Um, whether they're capable of doing it, whether they want to be in it for the long term, and those kinds of things. There's a lot to consider there, and especially when you consider fostering or adopting somebody who has significant needs like Raelynn. There's definitely a lot there. I would say if somebody's thinking about going down that route, I would say watch my channel. Get an idea of what it's like first, so that you're well prepared and know what could be in store for you. So that's kind of a self plug, but even more than that, I would say really make sure that you have a heart for it. Because if your heart is only in it for um, the, the lifestyle that you think it might be, um, really make sure that you're in it for the long term.
Definitely.
Because what Raelynn and people like Raelynn really need more than anything is just somebody who's going to step into their life and say, I love you. And I don't love you just for the moment, just because you're cute, but just because I love you because you're a human being worthy of love. I love you just like God loves me and loves all people. Like I said, my Christian faith really inspires me in all this. But I would just say, make sure that you this is really something you want to do, because it is a commitment, right? This is going to be a lifelong commitment. And of course, fostering itself isn't so much I mean, there is commitment there, but fostering doesn't necessarily lead to adoption. So if somebody's just simply looking, wanting to get their feet wet, I suppose, in this whole thing, maybe fostering is a great way to go about it.
Definitely,
yeah, that would help a person understand what it would take long term. We actually fostered several people since Raelynn as well. While we had Raelynn in our home, we fostered at least 3 other people that I can remember, but they were very short. One of them was there were sisters that came into our home at the same time, and we fostered them just overnight until they found a better placement for them. So that was an interesting experience. But the most recent person that we fostered didn't have severe medical needs, but she had just a couple medical needs. Little bitty baby, she was adorable. But we learned from that process that even though we wanted to be open to fostering and adopting and those kinds of things more, we learned from that we just weren't capable of doing it. We already had Raelynn in our home. We already have 3 other kids, obviously, in our home as well. So knowing what your limitations are is also important. So if you were to foster somebody like Raelynn and then just realize, oh, I really can't do this long term, man, that's better than adopting and realizing that, right? So
I agree. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people don't realize how much more, and I'm saying it because I am over 18 now, and I'm like, until I was 18, I thought, oh man, this is being disabled, and, kind of easy, because my parents would take everything, but now, over 18, well, I would do a lot of things when I wasn't over 18, but money and hair and all that, but then that was my parents. But now I'm basically in for all my things. I don't have a mental disability, and it takes a lot of work, and now I can't believe my parents did it, because there are so many obstacles that you have to hop over once you are in the dirt, or even not in the dirt. There are obstacles.
Yeah, and that's why I say it definitely comes down to love, because love will compel people to do anything, right? If you love someone, you will take care of them, you will enjoy them, and vice versa. In a lot of ways, Raelynn's care, yes, it's a lot of work, but we do it. It's a labor of love. So, I mean, of course we take care of her because we love her. So,
and that's what my parents tell me all the time. They're like, have I in an appointment type vibe attached to my parents, and they always tell me, "You're welcome to stay here as long as you want, but you're also welcome to move out. We don't mind helping as long as you tell us where you need to be, when, what time, how do we need to help you?" You know?
Right. Yeah, that's good.
Yep. And I think I will stay here for quite a while. I like my situation.
The free room and board and food, right?
I wish. After I'm on disability, so technically I do have to pay because
Right.
that's how exercise works, but that's okay.
Yeah, I understand.
I'm okay with that. But
Yeah.
yeah, thank you guys so much for being on my channel. Everyone, please hit the link and go check them out if you're not already subscribed. It's down here in the description box under the red subscribe button. And I will see you guys in my next video.